take a deep breath, take the higher road. That's what they always say, as if they know the way. They won't take it from me. But don't ever doubt yourself, 'cause life ain't just a dream. You make your own, so kick and scream. The people will act with a never-ending force. You never had the chance, so what you waiting for? The day has come, my friend, 'cause this is war. It's time and this is war.
The endocannabinoid system is a sophisticated network within our bodies that acts as a pivotal player in maintaining balance and well-being. Envision a finely tuned orchestra where each instrument contributes to a seamless melody. In a similar fashion, our endocannabinoid system orchestrates a symphony of biological functions to support our overall health and equilibrium. At the heart of the symphony are cannabinoids, natural compounds produced by our bodies, which interact with receptors found throughout our brain, organs, tissues, and immune cells. These receptors serve as key regulators for a variety of processes, including mood, memory, appetite, pain sensation, immune response, and sleep. What makes the endocannabinoid system truly remarkable is its ability to adapt and respond to internal and external stimuli, striving to maintain a state of balance known as homeostasis. When this balance is disrupted due to factors like stress, illness, or injury, the endocannabinoid system springs into action, working diligently to restore equilibrium and promote healing. In recent years, researchers have uncovered the significant therapeutic potential of modulating the endocannabinoid system through plant-derived cannabinoids such as THC and CBD. These compounds mimic the effects of our internal cannabinoids, offering promising avenues for addressing various medical conditions like chronic pain, inflammation, neurological disorders, and mental health issues. We will delve into this topic today and explore the intricate mechanisms that govern our body's inner balance and recognize the profound impact this system has on our overall health and vitality. You're listening to Nurses Out Loud on America Out Loud Talk Radio. I'm your host, Nurse Kimberly Overton. Before we get started today, I do want to encourage our listeners, if you have questions or comments, or perhaps you want to share your own experiences with what you're seeing on the front lines of healthcare, you can now submit those to us by sending them directly to nurses@americaoutloud.com. We will be featuring your questions and comments every Friday on a special Q&A episode with the nurses. We encourage all of you to engage in the battle and find your voice in this fight. But until you are able to do that, we will continue to be that voice for you. Joining me today is the founder and CEO of Nessus Hemp, Inesa Ponomariovaite. Inesa's story is one of tragedy and triumph. Hailing from Lithuania, Inesa grew up in a working-class family. In order to help contribute to her family's survival, she began working at the young age of 10 years old. When her mother was forced to take work in another city, Inesa was left to care for her siblings alone, at an age when most children are still learning how to care for themselves. As a young adult, Inesa made a visit to the United States and decided to stay, settling in the Chicago area. After 4 years, Inesa's health had completely deteriorated. A victim of domestic violence, she was ravaged by disease, infection, and constant pain. Eventually, she landed in the emergency room and was so ill that she remembers nothing until waking up days later in a hospital bed. Doctors tell her it was a miracle that she survived. She recovered and returned to her Chicago home, but soon afterwards, she found herself out on the street, alone and homeless, left with nothing but the clothes on her back. Drawing on the work ethic that she had developed in childhood, Inesa began to rebuild her life. She took on multiple jobs in various fields. Thanks to hard work and her engaging personality, she succeeded at everything she tried. She now had safety, freedom, and happiness, but she was still very sick, relying on a daily regimen of pharmaceuticals to survive. She decided that she had had enough of being sick and tired, pumped full of substances that only masked her problems. So she began a journey to heal and transform her body with healthy foods and exercise. It took time, but she finally killed her pain, using the power of nature to restore her body to its natural healing state. Inesa's foray into the cannabis industry began when she received the heartbreaking news that her mother had been diagnosed with cancer. Inesa was determined to help her mother in any way possible. She began exploring holistic practices and products, looking for anything that offered solutions. As her research expanded, she was introduced to the growing CBD industry. She dedicated nearly 2 years to the study of CBD, in the end, becoming an industry expert. Her research led her to doctors, scientists, and patients worldwide. She analyzed industry data and test results for hundreds of CBD products. She was stunned to find out that not one product on the market could meet all of the highest quality standards. Many, in fact, were irresponsibly sourced just to bring them to market quickly. Inesa knew there had to be a better way, and she was determined to find it. With the passion both to help her mother and right the wrongs of the cannabis industry, Inesa sought support from experts all over the world. Her standards were high. She wanted to create an elite product, and she did just that. She worked in painstaking detail, determined to preserve the integrity of the hemp plant and all of its compounds. What she was able to create not only met the world-class standards, it surpassed them. Put simply, she needed the best, and when the best wasn't available, she went out and made her own. That was the beginning of Nessa's Hemp, the world's first ever full-spectrum CBDA hemp oil. Inesa, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me here today and sharing the story. Actually, you just reminded me about my own life that normally I forget. It's thank you so much for everything.
Yeah, it's a beautiful story. It's a tragic story, but it's a beautiful ending. And it's just so inspiring because, you know, when with your story and many people that have been through challenges and trials like you have, many people would just, you know, play the victim. Many people wouldn't get up and get back on their feet and rebuild their life in the way that you have, and to really overcome these incredible challenges. It's very inspiring. And kudos to you. I think you're amazing already, and I've only known you 5 minutes.
No, thank you so much. I think you made a really good point. We can't even cover how much actually I really went through. It wouldn't be enough to read, but I just want to say this. Every time I got hurt, every time I got misdiagnosed, every time I got almost human trafficked or somebody done something, and every time I faced injustice, I was just simply empowered to become a strong woman one day and stand for the truth and bring the justice in those areas that I was physically or emotionally hurting. And I think today is the day. I mean, today is the day I was dreaming about for many, many years. And today world is in a better place because of my dedication and because of my struggles. So playing a victim, you wasting your own time, and you're not going to run away from yourself. You're not helping anybody, and you must stand strong, and you must empower yourself through the struggles, because end of the day, no one will come and save you. People might feel sorry for you, but that's also not going to help you. So if someone is listening right now that also had challenges in their lives, I'm not saying mine is better or worse than yours, but I promise you, if you just empower yourself and empower your God, you can accomplish anything you want. So kudos to everybody, not just me.
Yes, that is so true. I mean, I think all of us to some degree have been through, I've been through some traumatic experiences in the past 2 years. My listeners are very aware of that. I've talked pretty openly about that. And you're right. It is just, taking and drawing strength from these challenges that for whatever reason were placed on our path. And I believe that there's a purpose for everything. And I don't think that God gives us more than we can handle. And I think that something beautiful can come out of our struggles when we can help others learn how to survive these types of situations and navigate their own lives, because not everybody is as strong.
Exactly. And you mentioned the right point. The God give us exactly what we need to handle. And and when we pass these tests, he knows we're capable of making something better for the others. And you're absolutely right. So I totally in agreement with you.
Yeah, and it's funny because in these last, 3 to 4 years, I oftentimes over the course of my life, I had gone through several challenges and several trials and several things that I would always ask, like, God, why are you putting me through these things? And they never made sense to me. But in these last 4 years, I just felt like all of a sudden I understood. I felt like, God was pruning me. He was perfectly pruning me for the position that I'm in today and this time that we are in. I believe that everything that we go through, every challenge and trial is for a reason. And then things start to slowly make sense to you when you start looking at the bigger picture.
Exactly. That's why sometimes when I have challenges coming, which is almost every day, I'm like, why I'm trying to worry what happened? Let's just worry how to fix the problem.
Yes.
Because I'm sure one day soon or not soon, I'll figure out why that happened. Because absolutely, yes. So God is doing an amazing work on us, and sometimes makes me really, really sad when people say, "Oh, God doesn't love me. He gave me all those things." No, He gave you a free will to choose, and He is trying to build a better person out of you while He's testing you at the same time. So, we can't be blaming God. We can't be just playing the victims. Get yourself together and just go strong. Commit yourself, your soul and your heart to God, and you'll be just absolutely fine.
I couldn't agree with you more. And speaking of God and the amazing miraculous makeup of our bodies, and he's such an intricate architect, right? Let's discuss the endocannabinoid system. You are an industry expert now, and you do like to speak on the endocannabinoid system, and I would love to share this because I think this is something that a lot of people aren't really knowledgeable about. So if you want to just tell me, I mean, I gave a little bit of an introduction to it in the beginning of the show, but if you want to just give me, just a Cliff Notes version of your take on the endocannabinoid system and, how it impacts overall health and well-being in the body.
Yes, absolutely. So it's a very deep topic for me. It's a very deep subject. It's very controversial. It might really make a lot of people rethink everything they know about cannabis, or everything they've been taught about cannabis, because I did go really, really deep to know the truth. And what I find out, I'll share in a minute, it's not something that anybody who's educated on cannabis really is aware of it. So first of all, you made a right point. We have this endocannabinoid system. What is the endocannabinoid system? And I get really, really upset when people say it's going to help you with anxiety, it's going to help you, inflammation and pain and all kinds of period crampings. And I'm thinking in the beginning, before I knew better, I would kind of be one of those people. But now it's been a long time where we fully aware what the system really is, and we're still treating the symptoms with these cannabinoids, right? So let's start from the beginning. The human body, it's, as you said, such an intricate, such a beautiful mechanism that is created by God. You like it or you don't, you're Christian, you're not Christian. And for some reason, I really notice a lot of Christians, or especially churches, they don't want to talk about this, which is so important.
Mhm.
God gave us this beautiful system. Okay, and the system is responsible. It's your number one doctor, by the way, in the body. There's not your heart, not your brain, none of those other organs. It's the endocannabinoid system. It's your number one doctor in your body that literally watches out for you before you even realize you need help. What happens here? That system was given to us by nature, by God, and we're born with it. So when you're born with something that God gave you, it must be there. What happens when children start getting exposed themselves to oxidated stress, tap water, diet, for example, foods that are actually fried foods, they cause in the human body inflammation for 48 hours. If you ate fried foods today, you're going to be inflamed for another 48 hours. If you do that twice a week, you're inflamed the entire week. So what I'm trying to say here is this endocannabinoid system that is your number one doctor, it produces those cannabinoids that are really responsible to keep your brain functionality, keep every single organ on track. As you said, these receptors are all over human body and tissues and regulates entire central nervous system. And including what I noticed, the latest research and discovery saying that even immune system, like we have this immune system, but the immune system can be pushed when it's time to push forward by endocannabinoid system, which is like, like even the vitamin absorption, people can't absorb vitamins unless they empower the endocannabinoid system. They're not going to absorb them the same way. So endocannabinoid system, it literally regulates every single functionality so far I ever seen, especially with our products. I cannot talk about any other products because they are completely a different thing and they don't produce the same results. I'm not trying to promote Inesa's here, but I'm truly sharing what even the Israel is trying to do with my products. They're trying to discover those new cannabinoids, new research, new everything, because the products on the market is nothing to do what I'm talking about right now. The products on the market, it's completely different topic, and maybe we can talk next time or something. But the human endocannabinoid system is a number one essential system in the body that's responsible for you to sleep well, for you to feel well, for your immunity to actually function the time it needs to be functioning. For example, if you're about to catch the virus or you got the virus and your body needs to kick in the immune system, endocannabinoid system is responsible to empower immune system to say, hey, go work and just do some work and help this person to protect themselves, right, from this virus or bacteria, whatever infection going on. So, and when people say, Inesa, what is going to help me with? I personally, until today, work with a lot of people. I can't say they're my patients because I'm not a doctor, and thank God I'm not. But I work with a lot of people with extremely high success rates with everything we do. And what really amazes me, when I learned about endocannabinoid system, I was reading the research papers and I learned helps with inflammation, helps with anxiety. But what I was always questioning, why a woman who couldn't get pregnant for 3 years, 9 years, now she all of a sudden got pregnant by using our products? Why the person had skin conditions all of a sudden start improving? Why the person had, anger issues, all of a sudden they start feeling happier? So it's like those things that are not labeled as CBD or hemp really helps people with. And for example, appetite, actually a gentleman, he is very high in the government. Until today, I can't figure out his position, but I know something beyond strong because he just can make a phone call in less than a minute in the White House and make things turn around really quick. But he came to me help his daughter, and his daughter, she was anorexic for many, many years because her parents got divorced and all kinds of trauma. This girl improved her life and changed the life until today just by empowering endocannabinoid system, what she was deficient on as 14-year-old, I think she was 15-year-old. She empowered her endocannabinoid system. She started eating again. She started feeling again. She started seeing trauma, the one she was experiencing through parents' divorce, no longer as a trauma. I mean, that changed even the view. I'm not saying it changes for everybody. I'm not making any claims here at all, but I'm sharing what I saw, what I physically saw happening in people's lives. So hair growth, people say, Nessa, my hair is growing again, or I have my bowel movements again. It's like the things you will never find anywhere where people's gonna say, oh, it helps with this. No, what this is helping you with inflammation. It's helping you with sleep. It's helping you. No, I believe it's helping you with whatever your body needs at this very moment, at this very specific time in your life. And keep in mind, all the research all the research so far, it was done to promote pharmaceuticals, because CBD is not even, it's not even in a plant. CBD, it's the adulterated version, and it's a drug. So all the research was done on the drug that pharmaceuticals own the patent on. If you want to get the God's version, a natural compound that is way more effective and triggers your human endocannabinoid system way better than any product on the market, it's going to be a God's version. And God's version is CBDA, THCA, CBGA, those acidic cannabinoids. The problem is that those acidic cannabinoids, you can't patent them, and they're too powerful in the human body. If today we gave these cannabinoids to empower all these people are deficient right now on their own system, it's almost like entire country at this very moment is low on oxygen. What happens when you give this human body oxygen again? They're gonna start feeling life again. What happens if you empower America's endocannabinoid system, every citizen that lives on this earth? You're gonna get off people of pharmaceuticals in the next 90 days.
Isn't it
Not
interesting? Isn't it interesting that the people have really made this an issue, as far as it's very controversial, right? The use of cannabis is very controversial, but I think it's amazing that people are so conditioned by big pharma to think that a plant derived from nature that God gave us is somehow harmful, but something synthetic that's made in a lab is somehow superior and okay. I don't understand that logic, but I think it's a conditioning by big pharma. Would you agree?
Yes, but also there is no a real plant derivatives on the market right now. There's no real plant forms that are sold. So
Right.
to be honest with you, like I fully, what is sold on the market is 100% drug, plus is not regulated, plus is full of toxins, BTGN bacteria, molds, pesticides, herbicides. Hemp plant itself it's actually a beautiful soil cleaner. So if you want to grow hemp for medicinal purposes, you must go extra mile on each step just to develop the soil to plant that seed in it. So that's number one fact. Number two fact, what I have a problem with the entire industry is that we sell high levels of THC. I mean, those high levels of THC, when I started studying the history and traveling and trying to understand what's going on with this cannabis thing, there was no high levels of THC, and THC is also adulterated form. There is no THC in the plant. In the plant, you have very low levels of THC originally, the ones God gave us, those plants. I'm not talking about the plants and genetics were made in the lab. Everything what's sold on the market is made adulterated in the laboratories. Has nothing to do with the real plant. So that's why sometimes people maybe feel this way. Yes, we've been brainwashed, that's for sure. But when we finally discovered where the whole world was screaming and saying, look, wake up, we have this system in the body. Doctors until today don't know what is endocannabinoid system. When you come deficient on your own cannabinoids, you come to the doctor. I say, doctor, I have this, situation. I'm always feeling sad or depressed, or maybe I'm depressed. Doctor says, don't worry, I'll give you a pill. I'll give you antidepressants, whatever. I'll give you some kind of type of drug. Doctor, what if I'm missing few cannabinoids in my endocannabinoid system that actually regulates my mood? So with that being said, doctors don't even know. They, for some reason, they know about central nervous system. They don't know about your liver. They know these organs exist. They know these systems exist, but they don't know about the most essential one, which is endocannabinoid. So the doctor is not even there to help you, to educate you, because he doesn't know himself. He's never been educated in a medical school. But then when the world discovered, when nobody in until today, there's no one doctor or scientist or any expert on the planet can deny a fact that me, you, and everybody else, we are these plants. We are producing exactly what cannabinoids are in the plant. Our body's producing this plant inside of us, and it's so critical. It's in its essential form that is so important to us. The problem is when pharmaceuticals realize the mouse is out from the bag, the world is about to discover the truth, they allow all the companies push a second version of this plant, which is CBD and THC, plus the adulterated genetics, and turn this whole thing into Frankenstein monster with high levels of THC where children are smoking weed and 50% of THC and losing their brains up. And what happens is right now they promoted something what the whole world is using at the moment, and it's actually 100% patented drug. So now they're gonna take over and start controlling any minute from now on, because I know they're trying to pass some laws at this very moment. So now everybody is gonna think we're taking this natural plant, pharmaceuticals will prescribe us, it's gonna go under insurance, but sadly, the power is not in CBD. The power is in the God's plant. The God's plant is the CBDA. It's the THCA. THCA does not make you high. CBDA is not a CBD. It triggers human endocannabinoid system 1,000 times stronger than any CBD product on the market, because it is the original form. It is the matching human endocannabinoid system. It's something what our body is already producing, and then when you connect two natures together, which is human body, human endocannabinoid system, with these living cannabinoids from the plant, you watch. Miracles will happen to your body.
Yeah, it's like the lock and the key, that fit together.
Exactly. And the problem is, and I don't want to talk about negative here, but I just, it's so hard not to mention. It's just so hard because it's so much everywhere that most people screaming CBD, CBD, CBD. And I'm like, no, like this is a secondary version. This is a drug. That's what they want everybody to promote is the CBD, because I call these CBD companies as a low marketing companies for the pharmaceuticals. When they have enough of market share where everybody knows about CBD, they're gonna put laws in place where this whole thing belongs to us. In fact, last year, I heard and I saw the article came out where pharmaceuticals called out certain CBD companies and they asked them to stop selling their drug, because CBD is adulterated version of the plant and it's patented under Food and Drug Administration as a drug for epilepsy. It's called Epidiolex.
Yeah, it's amazing to me. I mean, I feel like Big Pharma has their hand in everything, but the average person isn't going to know the difference between the CBD and the CBDA. I didn't know. And I will tell you that in nursing school, we definitely didn't learn about the endocannabinoid system. So I think that the average person, they just see that market saturation of CBD products over these past, I would say, I don't know, 5 years or so. I feel like maybe 5 to 10 years, we've seen just a saturation of CBD products on the market. So you're saying the CBD products are not the ideal ones that need to be, that are out there. They're not the ideal ones that should be used. It is the CBDA, which is completely different.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying what I personally discovered, and I thought I'm going crazy. I had literally had to call two number one worldwide known experts to confirm everything that I investigated, spent thousands of dollars traveling around the country, walking into facilities and asking them, show me, don't tell me. So I took product samples myself. I tested in the laboratories that are credible laboratories that is testing in things in parts per billion, and they're FDA registered. Somebody's over watching their processes. It's not like they're doing some lab testing in the garage. So I tested these products and I recognized, number one, they all had major toxins, all kinds of toxins you can possibly imagine. Number two, they all CBDs. And when I studied the plant, a raw version of the plant, the one that God gave us, there was no CBD in the plant. And I was thinking, what's happening here? Why There is no CBD in the plant, but there is a CBD on the market. Like where this whole CBD is even coming from? What I learned that I actually, when you take the raw version of the plant, when you use extraction processes, heats, temperatures, solvents, you turn that CBDA, original compound or original molecule from the plant, you use these harsh processes. They're not harsh only for the plant, they're also harsh for the human body. You take these harsh processes and you turn the original God's version that cannot be patented, cannot be owned by anyone except people, that is extremely powerful for the human body, more powerful than any CBD you can possibly imagine. They taking this raw version and through the processes, they turning into the Frankenstein, which is, it's the CBD. And the CBD has been owned by pharmaceuticals, drug and food administration for a very long time right now. It's the drug. And everybody's promoting this drug, and it's beneficial because when enough people buying it, that's what they're gonna pull back and say, okay, this is our compound, this is our molecule, we own it, and you guys gonna stop selling it, as they start calling out the companies last year. I swear I saw that article. I could not find it again because I was just dying to put this on social media because I was talking about this for many years. I said, watch out, pharmaceuticals gonna start sending in letters for CBD companies and telling them stop selling our property.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing to me that, I think it's all in the marketing, and it's kind of similar to when the greenwash nutrition, they have things that appear to be healthy that are certainly not. So, and I think it's really, most of it is a marketing ploy, likely from big pharma. But we have so much more to dig into. We are going to take a break and we will come right back. America Out Loud Talk Radio plays on the iHeartRadio network. You can also listen on our media player from any web browser anywhere in the world. We have the best in-class apps available on Apple, Android, or Alexa 24/7. Great talk radio. All of our shows go to podcast the following day. You can hear them on apps such as Spotify, Stitcher, Pandora, iHeart Podcast, and many more. Be sure to subscribe and rate the show on Apple Podcasts for me. Don't forget to check out our online store at americaoutloud.shop, where you can find all of the products that we represent on our network at a discounted rate. I'll catch you on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
It's time and this is what.
Don't accept joint aches and stiffness as part of aging. Doctors at Advanced Nutrition Company, Healthy Cell, created joint health and mobility to support connective tissue, joint lubrication, and reduce joint irritation with curcumin, omega-3, chondroitin, glucosamine, and hyaluronic acid for joint comfort and flexibility. And Healthy Cell's not a pill, it's a gel you swallow. Get 100% drug-free joint support. Go to healthycell.com and use code OUTLOUD for 25% off your first order. That's healthycell.com. Code OUTLOUD.
The buildup of spike proteins is dangerous to your health. Global Healing's Foreign Protein Cleanse detoxes your body, removing the spike proteins, allowing your body to repair from within. Formulated by Dr. Edward Group and by Dr. Brian Ardis, Foreign Protein Cleanse targets and detoxes spike proteins in the body. Go to americaoutloud.shop and get 15% off using the code OUTLOUD. Global Healing, giving you the power to take control of your health naturally.
I'm Dr. James Bragman. Do you suffer from allergies, sinus problems, or just seem to be getting sick more often? You're not alone. Many of my patients are finding relief with Cofix RX nasal spray. I've relied on the sanitizing power of povidone iodine for years. Cofix RX has harnessed that power to help cleanse germs, allergens, and viruses in your nasal cavity. You brush your teeth and wash your hands daily. Stay healthy by using Cofix RX to wash and cleanse your nose daily. Get Cofix RX today. Go to America Out Loud Shop and click on the Cofix RX banner, or type in cofixrx.com/outloud. Buy now and receive a 20% discount with a 30-day money-back guarantee.
World-class care from doctors you can trust, all from the comfort of your home. That is One Wellness. Dr. Peter McCullough and his team at The Wellness Company designed the One Wellness membership to provide free monthly supplements and unlimited telemedicine access with doctors that share your values. Go to OutLoudCare.com today and use code OUTLOUD for 25% off your first month of One Wellness.
Many voices, one freedom, united in the First Amendment. Our goal is to herald the voice of genuine liberty at AmericaOutloud.news, a place where you'll find the naked truth expressed with a patriotic heart. Now is our time, my fellow Americans. America Out Loud Talk Radio. Liberty and justice for all.
Welcome back to Nurses Out Loud on America Out Loud Talk Radio. I'm your host, Nurse Kimberly Overton. Wherever you're listening from today and whatever you're doing, I thank you for giving me the gift of your time. Be sure to make AmericaOutloud.news your daily stop for all the latest news and happenings. We all must do our part and share the stories, the articles, the podcasts, and videos so we can help secure America's future. If you're just joining us, I've been talking with CEO of Inesa's Hemp, Inesa Ponomariovaite. Let's jump right back in. Inesa, thanks again for being here. Such great information.
Thank you so much for having me here today, and I'm looking forward for this, our second conversation after break.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit, when we paused for break, we were talking a little bit about laboratory testing, and I want you to kind of delve into that just a little bit. There's a couple things I want to touch on, but I just think that it's an interesting topic. It seems to be corruption everywhere you look, I feel like. So if you want to tell my listeners a little bit about what we discussed over the break about the lab testing and the lab report.
Yes, and thank you so much for asking for this question, because for the regular person who works 9 to 5 and raising their children at home, going to the job, and it's really almost impossible to know this unless you do what I did, which is cost a lot of money. You have to leave your home, travel around the country, and just, show up in these facilities and ask these people to show you what they're really producing there instead what they're representing. So, when I was actually going through this investigation journey on the entire cannabis industry, first of all, I chose to do this only because I understood how much and how essential is human endocannabinoid system. Like, it's literally one of the number one most essential systems to our bodies in order for us to be healthy or even stay healthy or even prevent anything. So I understood essentials. So I was like, okay, here's a big need. We all deficient. We all need this. We all cannot function without. And then all these products on the market, how do I really know what's in it? I mean, they would tell me whatever it's in it, but like, how do I know this is the truth? So what I decided to do, I also start looking into laboratories and how they're really testing these products. And especially when I developed my own product, when I got really disappointed with the entire industry, and when I developed my own product too, it was the same struggle I had to. Laboratories in America, when they say that your CBD was tested or lab tested, when you see that little nice logo and maybe even a little doctor picture or something, with the white coat, and it says lab tested, that doesn't mean absolutely anything, because it could be lab tested from what? So most laboratories don't even report accurate data on these lab reports. First of all, number one, when you place an order to submit your sample of the product that should go on the market and be sold to people, you as the owner of the brand should ask a laboratory to test for. And you have to ask for, let's say, we like to ask for everything. That's how we like to go. We ask for metals, for pesticides, herbicides, molds, mildews, bacteria, BTGN bacteria, you name it. We test from everything in parts per billion. In fact, laboratory never even had such a testing, so they came up with a custom lab testing just for Nestle's hemp. We literally have our own customized laboratory testings because we test for everything. Companies don't want to test for everything because they will become positive for all these things that I mentioned, or at least a couple of those. So when your product says lab tested, that doesn't mean anything. First of all, we don't know what it means in terms what they tested for them. And the second thing is most of laboratories do not report accurate data. You just ask the laboratory to change your results and they will. Let's say your product came positive for metals, tremendous amount of metals that can cause someone heart attack, brain disorders, right? Your CBD product. And you say, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do now? And you have $10,000 worth of these bottles that are full of metals. You're about to put them on the market. What do? You call the laboratory and say, hey, I'm positive for these things. Can you make some numbers there? Can you make me look good on a piece of paper? So they're gonna send you a report. You pay a couple $100. They're gonna send you a nice report where it says there's no metals in your product. So do not get tricked, because most laboratories willing to change their lab reports just the way the owner wants to, so they don't lose their profits, so they can continue sell you these products. And the second thing, what they do, that some labs are so aggressive where you can even call them, they don't even test your products. They say, how do you want your lab report to look like? They don't even, they just ask you what the numbers you want it to be, what you like. So as the owner, say, I want to look like this. I want to have that much percentage of CBD. I want to be clean from this. I want to be clean from that. And that's exactly what they customize for you. And they send you that's called lab tested report. And this company is going to go out there in the world and it's going to show you how their product is nice and clean. So you understand how deep the whole thing is in consumer. They have zero chances to figure this out unless whatever they're purchasing themselves, our customers do that. And I love it. Even Mike Adams, I don't know if anybody know him, but he's a gentleman who loves to investigate the industries. He loves to investigate the products.
Yeah, the health ranger, yeah.
Yes, Health Ranger, exactly. So he investigated our products. And it's funny because he kept asking me to send him another sample. I was like, what is finding in my products that he's keep asking for another sample? And he just simply couldn't believe in quality, as he stated he never seen anything like that to begin with, including any supplement or any industries. He's like, this is the cleanest thing I ever faced on the earth. And he was just simply, he couldn't believe this is how clean it is. So long story short is, we test, but most companies, if you don't know, or if you don't purchase from somebody like a Health Ranger who does their own homework, you have zero chances to figure out what's in your bottle. You, as the regular citizen, you have zero chances to know what's in your bottles. You're not gonna know, and you're gonna be purchasing very, very dangerous products, because keep in mind, hemp plant by nature is a soil cleaner. Okay, so it's one of the benefits. With hemp, you can literally sustain your entire life. You can feed your animals, you can empower your health, you can create a clothing line, you can actually create a car battery, you can build home, and you can also clean a soil. If there's only one plant you need to choose to thrive on for the rest of your life, it's the only one plant is the hemp plant, because it's literally multifunction. But when you actually grow hemp plant for medicinal purposes, and it's a soil cleaner, so you must take care of that soil before you plant the seed, because end of the day, you can't, for medicinal purposes, you can't just grow in the regular soil a hemp plant, because it's just too sensitive. The hemp is too sensitive.
And when you're talking about these lab reports, are you talking about the COA, the certificate of analysis? Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. Okay, that's what I was wondering, because I know a lot of people, tout their COA, as And so that's interesting to me. So it's almost like just bought and paid for.
Yes, exactly. You want to get specific lab report, you just pay for and you're good to go. The only one laboratory that not failed my test, which is I was literally setting them up through entire country. I would call them and offer them money and ask them, can they fake the lab reports if I need it? And all of them said yes to me, except one laboratory, which is end up working with them. It's the ACS laboratory in Florida. So when I asked them to fake lab reports, they said to me, they said, we lose about half of the customers that comes to us because we tell them we're not going to change lab reports. We're going to report as it is in your bottle, and we're going to give the COAs just exactly the way you have it in the product. So most CBD owners don't like this idea that, you know, they're going to lose profits. So they go to find another lab who's going to do the good favor for them. So the only one lab, I would say the only one COA could be safe to purchase products from, if somebody provided you, it would be ACS Laboratories from Florida, because they do not fake their lab reports.
That is just completely insane to me but I mean, I'm not surprised. I guess nothing surprises me any longer about the level of corruption, and it's all through society. So I guess I really shouldn't be that surprised. And when we see the levels of corruption, you know, from the FDA, the CDC, all of it, I guess this should not really be that surprising to me. But it's disappointing, you know, it's disappointing.
It is. It is disappointing, especially when I went to visit top companies like, not gonna say names right now, but publicly traded as of today, and you know, and they're promoting all this thing for children, and their products are loaded with metals, loaded. And I said, what are you guys doing here? It's like, oh, we're still USD certified. I said, I don't care about USD labels. It's like, don't worry about it. We're still gonna get you under USD logo. I said, I don't care. I care what goes in this bottle, what goes into people's bodies. I said, that's dangerous game you guys playing. He's like, nobody will know. It's like, I know, that's enough. Like, me knowing it's already enough. So these companies are publicly traded companies, and they are promoting certain products for children. Even it's illegally to do that, but the way the messaging is going around and the way they started the industries for kids. In fact, one of their scientists, he was on board years ago when I started my brand, when I realized nobody's doing what's right. He was on board with them, and I tried to interview him, and I said, oh, you guys are selling very dangerous stuff. How we can be part of this? And he said, Inesa, that's why I'm leaving this industry. That's why I'm not going to be part of this, because everything we do has nothing to do with the real nature science. Because I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy to make a product correct way. Like, for example, the way we extract it, it comes one drop at a time. It's like, it's very painful process. You have to watch the temperatures, you have to be 24/7, like almost standing on the needles. It's not easy to make the right way, but it's worth it because it's effective and it really works. So most people that have that kind of type of integrity, doctors and scientists, they left this industry. They're fed up, they're tired of this, and they don't want to be part of this. And before they left the industry, they told me, good luck making it. You're gonna go against everybody. And if you will make it through, we'll be shocked and surprised, because you're basically going against, it's mafia.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And you're kind of going against the grain, which I kind of love. That's kind of that's my MO. So I love it. I love it. I love that you're doing this. And I think that that's the problem, is we don't have any integrity left in this world. We don't have nobody is sticking to their ethics, their integrity. And I think that when we step out and we go our own path and we go that direction that God wants us to, standing in truth, standing in integrity, all of that, God makes a way for us.
He always does. And I'm still in my consulting company. We help people to get better all day long, but You know how I started my brand? I was begging him. I never gonna forget when I came back from all my investigations, and some of these people been poisoning me with high THC, end up in emergency room and cannabis overdose. That's the only one time I touched cannabis. It was complete mistake. Somebody gave me these pills that they told me it's CBD, but my heart was about to come out because there was so much THC in it. I thought I'm gonna die. It was so scary actually, but they didn't like me. I came back home after a couple of weeks of this major investigation around the country and trying to figure out where is the truth, where is the right company that I can partner with, then I can present them and trust them and be behind their back. And there was none, of course. And then I came in my house and I started literally screaming and crying. I was like, God, I don't want to start this. I don't want to do this. Please find me, show me the way where I can just buy from someone else, because I didn't know how to run the company. I knew nothing about those kind of type of businesses. And then I said, if I'm going crazy, maybe it's just me going crazy. Maybe I just had a bad luck with those number one rated 17 companies in the country. I said, let me call some smart people here. And I did call the gentleman who discovered human endocannabinoid system, who discovered these Nobel prize winning findings in the human body and what's happening to us. And he was from Israel. He just passed away a year ago. And of course, he didn't answer the phone call. He's a famous world person. He just doesn't talk to some Lithuanian woman from Chicago, right? So it took me 3 months to get him on the call. He did eventually finally call me back. I harassed him. I said, if you're not gonna answer my phone calls, emails, I'm just gonna fly in Israel. I'm gonna find you on the streets. I'm gonna talk to you, whatever I need to do. I need to talk to you because I feel like I'm going crazy because there's no way in the world everybody's doing wrong. So when he confirmed me on that call that I wasn't going crazy and industry is completely off the hook and people doing whatever they want to do has nothing to do with original intention from the plant to the human body, I felt good about myself. I said, you know what? I feel like God is trying to show me something. And I felt like empowered and I felt I'm not going crazy because somebody confirmed me my findings that I wasn't, completely cuckoo.
Yeah.
So I think it was completely God's plan. But he said the same thing. He said, you not gonna be able to succeed in this. Like you're gonna go against every single company, every single business, every pharmaceutical, against everybody. It's their patent, it's their molecule. They own it. They will never allow people to know about the raw version of the hemp plant because it's too powerful, it's too much, it's too effective, and it cannot be patented or owned by anyone. And pharmaceuticals will never allow you to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm telling you, gosh, I'm going to have you back on, Inesa, because there's so much information. We've got just a few minutes left. I really want to just kind of, delve into just some, like, what are some of the challenges, some of the controversies surrounding the use of the cannabinoid therapies in mainstream medicine that you are seeing?
I think the saddest thing for me is how today a federal government tells that for us citizens in America, it's illegal to take on a federal level and empower our bodies with a right quality cannabinoids. It's almost sounds to me like for you, it's illegal to breathe and have oxygen to your lungs. It's literally the same thing. It's your body needs air, your body needs water, your body needs cannabinoids. So that's the saddest part because it's for me sounds like a crime against humanity, big time. The second thing is what's really sad that people don't understand that if you are focusing on the right plan, the God's given plan that's not manipulated in the laboratories, this is part of you. You're making it inside your body. You're regulating yourself. God gave you this production already inside of you. You just lose it because you're exposed to all kinds of tap waters, all kinds of toxins, all kinds of oxidative stresses, foods and airs and nanotechnology and all those things. So you lose it. And when you lose it, you become deficient. When you become deficient, you start having all these different symptoms. So people need to understand a hemp plant, the original version of the hemp plant, is not there against you. It's not a drug. It's not something what government has been telling us for the last 100 years. You need it. It's essential to you, and you need to fight for it, and you need to understand that your government right now is telling you for you it's federally illegal to empower your own endocannabinoid system.
Insanity. But again, not surprising, not surprising. Inesa, thank you so much for being here. Like I said, we'll have to have you back on. You have so much incredible information, and I'm sure that you and I could talk for hours on this topic, and I'm sure many others. Again, your story is so incredibly inspiring, and I would love to talk with you more at another time. But Inesa, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me here, and I hopefully people had some value and some information so I could empower people with knowledge and strength.
Absolutely. And real quick, before we sign off here, where can people find your website? What is your website?
It's Nesas, Nesas, Nesas Hemp, one word, nesashemp.com.
All right, great. And we will make sure that we put all of the links, anything to your socials, anything to your website in the show notes that will accompany this episode once it goes to podcast. And Nessa, thanks again for being here.
Thank you so much for having me here.
And that is all the time that we have for today, friends. But remember, we are here on the air 5 days a week, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. You can also catch the encore at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please be sure to tune in and listen to myself and my amazing sister nurses. As we walk you through all of these hot topics, we will empower you with information and education. We will advocate and we will stand in the gap for you because we are nurses and this is what we do. I'm your host, Nurse Kimberly Overton, and you can find me here every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. Until next time, be safe, be well, and God bless. Remember that we are in a war for truth. We are putting out a bounty on the real misinformation and exposing the purveyors of propaganda. No topic is off limits as we shine our lights and expose the darkness.
It's time